Hi, Susan Blue Robot here from susanbluerobot.com. I'm here today with another card making video using Pop-Up Card Studio. This time I'm going to show how to make several different shaped cards, taking Pop-Up Card Studio to a new direction, and we'll get started using Make the Cuts Pop-Up Card Studio. Back in the 4th of September 2012, I demonstrated how to make the inside-outside cards using Make the Cut. While these can be made in Pop-Up Card Studio and a lot quicker, we were also making these cards back in the mid-90s at Stamp Camp in Victoria, Australia, even though at that time they're called inside-outside cards. Now, yes, other people are calling them something else and we'll claim it for them, but no, we were making them back in the late 1990s. So I'm still continuing to call them inside-outside cards. And we'll get started. I'm using a card 5 inches by 5 inches. First off, let me say the global operations to change the size after making these cards does not work because you're outside the actual card working area. So you work out your card, either what you want to do here, and that's the size, or you, after making the card, you can take it over to Make the Cut and change the size there. We'll get started. 5 by 5 card, and here's our card here. Now, first off, we'll make a square card. So first what we need to do, it's a 5 by 5, so we need to put it on a plane of 2.5. That's halfway between the back of the card and the very front of the card. Then we bring in a square. Now we want this square, we want that square to be 4 inches by 4 inches. So with the lock on, we change this to 4 and push the enter button. Then we put that on a plane of 3 on the Y plane and push enter, and we put it in the center. So this is the bit that's going to be sticking out. On my videos I have said you put it on the bottom plane, so you make sure it's on the bottom plane, but in this case we want it sticking out like that. Now what you do, still on this plane, you grab your Bezier tool and you put it on a snapping of higher than 1.8 or 1.8 and a 2-point rec, and I just zoom in here and I make sure click there, click there. Now what I do is I go to the top plane, and you'll notice that that's 2.5 on the top plane. So I put an anchor from here to the back, the same size as that. Oops, I'm having trouble here, sorry. Click. So now if we do a print preview, I know I haven't done a thing yet, but I just want to make sure that this here, and this here are both all dotted lines. This is not yet, but I will show you. Now what we do is we go back to this plane. I hit the space bar to go back, and the select tool, I select both of them, and I do a weld. Now what we have is when the card is opened, your image will be here, and your card is opened. It will be on the inside of the card, but when it's shut, it goes to the outside of your card. And that's all there is to making the inside-outside card. You can decorate here. Now I will show as on this card here, I've got blocks for my matting. And as you see, this is the inside card that we've just made, this green bit. What you do is you do a print preview to check. This will cut down this line here, score these lines here for mountain and valley faults, and we go project render, render to SVG, and we'll go so when we go over to make the cut, we will go let's put that up there. We will go import SVG, and we bring in the one we just got. So if you notice, that's the inside of the card. To get the outside of the card is easy. All you do is first off, we select the outside, and we go shadow, and I do a shadow of 5 millimeters and accept. So that's the outside of the card. Now the next thing we do is select this one, do a copy. This is the inside one. Just turn that off for the moment and come back to here and do a paste. And we do a layer straight away while that's still selected. And we throw away this inside one, copy. And what we're left with is this square here. So if we get the pencil tool, hold the control key down and hover over this dot here, and then still holding the control key, come across to this one. We've now joined that. The only other thing you do now is you select this. Oops, I select the node tool editing, click on this, and I just moved it. So if you move it, just go convert to line, and what you do is you arrow that up 5 times, and then you go back to select. This allows for the fold for the other piece to come in and the movement here, because if you don't move this innermost line upwards, it tends to bend and not want to open. So you select all them and you go join. So now these become your score lines. This is your cut line for your card, and this one here is your outside of the card, which is this darker green. So when it's put together, it's like this. So as it opens, the outside of the card, which was the wombat, is now on the inside of the card. Now we can take this a step further, and we can do other things with this idea, because people might not want to go for that, but this might be more what you like. So we'll start again, bring in a 5x5, and we'll start on a plane of 2 inches. Now what we do is we bring in a shape. In this case, I will bring in an octagon, and we want that a height of 4 inches. We're 2 inches out from the back, so we want this a height of 4 inches. And we want it on the plane of 3 in the Y plane. The reason we want it on the plane of the Y axis is because this is halfway between the 4 octagon is 2 inches, and then we want 3 inches above, which makes 5 inches. So that's how we know we're on the right plane. We're 2 inches above the bottom of the plane. Now what we do, we make sure it's centered, right? Now we want a shadow of that, inward shadow. I say 0.05. We go accept. With that one selected, we want a shadow of 0.5 millimeters. Go accept. Now, here's the fun part. We select all them, and we go copy. And then we click the space bar and go up to the uppermost line, and we go paste. Now, what you do is you use your arrow keys. Turn this up to use the arrow keys, and we take this down, and we want to put it on a plane of 3. Now, if we do a print preview of that, we're hoping that this center bit is dotted, and this is dotted, and the centerpiece is dotted as well, where it's going to fold. So we go, okay, we want that. Now we want to go back to this plane. So I hold the D key down and select this, and it will take us back to this plane. Here's where the fun bit begins. What you do now is you select those 2 middle ones, leaving the outside octagon there. We go cut. Now that's in the clipboard. When we go cropping tool, you have to make sure over here on this right hand side, the delete to clipboard is not checked. It's checked there. If it's checked, you click it and it'll uncheck. Important part of this exercise is this is to be unchecked, because we've got something in the clipboard now that we want saved. So now you go from under here up to here until you get the dotted line, which is the bottom of the card, and you go there. So we've just chopped that out. If we do a print preview now, we've got the dotted lines here and the dotted lines here. Still, this bit's going to fall out. We know that. Okay, now what you do is you go back up to the select tool and you go paste. Now you select this bigger one of the full one, and holding the select key, the shift key down, you select the half one and you go weld. So now what we have, if I do a print preview, so what is going to cut is this is going to cut down here and stop here, go over to this side and cut around here, stop here for a fold and go down and up to higher. We do the same on the top, hold the D key down, select that. Once again, we select those two innermost. If I select them all, I can unselect by holding the shift key down and clicking on outer. I want to save these two to the clipboard, so I cut these two to the clipboard, so I go cut. And now I want to clip. Checking that you aren't over here, important that you aren't clipping it to the clipboard. What we do is we go out of here. When it's dotted lines, you go stop. And I'll show you what you've got so far. Now you've got the dotted line across here, where it's going to be folded. So we go back to the select key, push paste, which pasted them both in. Now you select the bigger one, holding the shift key down, select the next one, and you go weld. So now what you have is you have your card. Turn the plane off, and now you have your card. This inner octagon is for any decoration and stuff that you want. The reason I put it in here now is when I do take it over to make the cut, I can just take these out. Other than that, if I didn't want to do that, I could select that, go cut, over to make the cut, go paste in place, back to here, hold the D key down, select this one, go cut, over to make the cut, and go paste in place. So they're two that I can use as a decoration for the card when I've done it. So what we are left with, if I do a print preview, is this is how it's going to cut. You're going to have this bit cut just to the middle, these bits cut just here with the score lines, and this. So what you have is a card that looks like this. So you've got when it's on the outside of the card, when the card is closed, your image is on the outside. These are the images. This black bit is the one that I took over to make the cut to add on afterwards. And this is the back. So you're coming from both the back and the front are on the outside. They're poking through the outside. When you open the card, they come inside and give a nice inside-outside look. And that's the view from the top. Oops. So that's what we just created. Once again, if I take this over, I go save as SVG. And we go into make the cut, and we go import SVG. And once again, to get the outside of the card, the black bit, so it's got the cutout for the thing to go through. Now, if you notice, I was experimenting with this one and haven't redone it, but there's an extra bit there that's not needed. I made a mistake. So what you do is you do a full card, and then I don't. I then take a copy of this one. I could copy. Then I close that, lock that. And then on this one, making sure this is the dark grayed one out, so I know it's going to paste there. I go paste. I go layer. I throw that layer, the outside away. Then I select this and I go break. I take these two middle ones away because I don't want them in me back of me card, so I cut. Then all you do is you go with the pencil tool, holding the control key down, hover until you get the red circle, and across to the other side and let go. Hover over this, hover over that. Then it's only a matter now of getting the node tool. I moved that again. Convert to line. Okay, up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 with the arrow keys. And this one is down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 with the arrow keys. Then I select all of them. To select all that's on that plane, I click on, I make sure in the select tool, and then I click over here, and then I go join. So there we have, this one has the to each zone, has the valley, the mountain folds, and the cut lines, and then this will become a different color. And then these, of course, will go on your card after it's made to decorate. So that's how you do that. It's endless. The idea of them is when you're picking what to do, try to make sure that you have something that is symmetrical on both sides. Like you wouldn't do, okay, you wouldn't do a cat or you wouldn't do a bunny rabbit because it's not symmetrical on both sides. So when it flips the other way, the ears won't sit properly. So what you would do is pick something that, like this, when it's flipped the other way, it happens. I just sneak peeked, just showed you that I'd done hearts here. The best way to do hearts is a trick, is come in to meet the cart. Select your heart. Is to get your heart over here, do a right click, in the select tool, do a right click, go duplicate, no, not that, go duplicate, nest, and you get your pieces here. Go preview that, because then we get more of a definite heart for the heart shape. Now I found in Make the Cart or Pop-Up Card Studio, if you did a shadow, it'd get rounded or it'd get very misshaped. So then you go accept, and then what you do is you select all them, you go copy, you take them over to your workspace, which I'll get a new one. You go create, and you put it on a plane of 2 inches, and you go paste. And we'll make this, say, 4 inches. You go enter. No, we'll make this side the width of 4 inches, because we're going to be rotating this by 93 times to take it back that way, because you've got to go this way. And then we put it on a plane of 3, enter, and then we put it in the center. or wherever on the line you want. So now that now becomes the pieces that you're going to work with. Now, personally, I would throw this one away. Cut. Okay, so I'm going to work with these two as my pivots, my inside out part. So, now what I do, first off, it's on a plane of 3. If I chopped up here, it gets too confusing. So, what I'll do is select that, do a copy. No, I won't. What I'll do first off is I want to bring in, instead of chopping the circle part of the heart, what I do is I bring in Auto Quad 2-point rec, and I want this right. So what I want to do is I want to make sure that this is on a 3 Y plane over here on the right hand side. So I know that that is at the same level as my heart. Now I just adjust this in so it gives a straight point to the heart, but still gives the heart shape. But you need enough to have the folding here. So say if I like that, then I'll select this and this outer one and I'll go wild. So now is you still have your heart shape, but you've just got ever so slightly more, and it's all still on the plane of 3. And we'll zoom out a bit, and I'll select them all. We'll go copy them. Now we'll go to the uppermost plane of the bottom, this one, and just double check that it is the 2 because this is what we're working on. We go paste, we go flip, so and then we go to a plane of 3. Enter. So that this is what we're working on, a plane of 3. We're hoping that this, if we do a print preview, we're hoping that they're joined at the center, and they are. So what you do now is, while we're on this plane, we can now, on the select tool, we can crop out the 2 topper one, not crop out, cut out. So we get cut, that's cutting to the clipboard. Now we're going to use the cropping tool, making sure over here it says delete to clipboard is not yellowed out. And we come down here. When it's dotted, we stop. I tend to like using the print preview because I don't want to get all the way through and find that it's not working when you've gone and welded everything together. So now I go back to the select tool, go paste, select the outermost one and the half one by holding the shift key down, and we go weld. And so that now, that side is now got your fold lines here. This inner full circle now, the full heart now, is going to be the bit that I decorate and put on top. And you do the same with the other. Get the space bar, D key, go to this level. You select those 2 inner hearts. No, 2 of them. Hold the shift key down to select the other one. We go cut. So we're cutting them to the clipboard. Now we go cropping tool. When it's red dotted, you go stop. And once again, it's checked that it is dotted in the right place. Then we go select tool, paste in place, and hold the shift key down, select the outer full one and the half a one, and you go weld. There we have another inside-outside card shaped. And because this was symmetrical on both sides, you were able to do that. So when the card's shut and when the card's opened, it's on the inside. And that's what we have here. And I decorated it. This one I didn't put the outer card, but because I only used a 200 GSM card, I felt that it was a bit flimsy, so I added the hearts both on the inside and the outside. And here we go, that's the top view. And then they come inside. Then this one is the same principle, only I put the white outside card, making that half of the outside card the same as I did with the others, which you can rewind and have a look how I done the outside cards for them. And then we have the thing. This is the same as the square card, only I used the tag. Added the robot on, but the tag I turned into a little pop-up, so it's a pop-up on a pop-up. This is a little pop-up on the outside of the card. And then it's when you open the card, you've still got that little pop-up on the inside of the card. And I thought that was just a little bit of fun. Of course, I added the blue robot. This is from Little Robots many years ago, when my son was growing up. And there we have the examples. I think I showed them all. Before I stop the videotaping, I've got a few minutes, so what I'll do is I'll just scroll back so you can get to see the examples again. So it's just another fun. Once you start making these, you'll see that they're so easy to make. You can do shapes of all different things as long as they're symmetrical on both sides, so they flip in and out, inside and outside of the card, and shadow each other. So recommended once again. Sometimes you'll have to use the nesting duplicate in make the cut to get the shapes nice. Oh, I used basic shapes plaque shape, and did exactly the same thing as I did with the hearts and the circles. Here's the circles. Use the embossing folder, the ebosser, to emboss, and then I run over the top with an ink pad. And this one I did some lattice work. I can do a video on that if people would like a make the cut video of doing the lattice fold unders. And that's all I've got for this video. Remember, if you'd like to purchase Pop-Up Card Studio or make the card, click on the link below this video, and it'll take you to a link to go and buy it to support my blog. And this has been Susan Blue Robot from susanbluerobot.com. I've got many more videos on my blog, and I hope to see you soon. I hope this helps lots of people. I hope I see lots and lots of examples of what you do with this idea. Thank you for